Hey everybody, this is Mortgage Ballers. My name is Rich Hanlon, and today I have a treat for you. I have the Amanda Rawls. I've known Amanda since probably about 2017, 2018. She came from Finance of America, hooked up with me at my last company, Answer Home Loans, where we got off to a rough start only because she does a lot of business. And believe me, when she has a question, that means she's got a borrower on the other side. And I've been very fortunate that one of my best friendships in this business has come out of that. And she's one of my favorite people to ever talk to. I wish I could talk to her more, but I talk about two people all the time, Brandy Stevens, Amanda Rawls. Everybody needs accountability. Everybody needs someone to talk to once in a while. Everybody needs an ass whooping once in a while. And I have my people in this industry. Brandy's one of them. Amanda Rawls is one of them. If I need to get real quick, I only need about 10 minutes and you're going to figure it out real quick. Why? Amanda, you are getting one of my best of the best because number one, you are one of the best, but you also out of 400 loan originators, 2023, you're in the top 20 at Expert Home Lending. This isn't your first time being the best of the best. It's just something that runs in your blood. And today, for the whole community, it's your time to say whatever you want, but somewhere in there, I'm hoping that you could instill some type of methodology of how you got to who you are, how you do it. Everybody has their own way, but there's a lot of people struggling right now. And I just am so glad that you're here with me today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Rich. I appreciate you and this space and what you're doing for the broker community and what you've done for me personally. You know, I started this business in 96. Mm-hmm. And when I started in the business, I was with a finance company. And I bounced into the broker space because of another angel man in my life, Greg Teeter, which is you guys are quite similar. And I ran a branch at Capital Mortgage back then. But when I stepped into the broker arena, it was 99. And I had a dream of having an all-woman broker shop in Elk Grove. And I had told Greg that. So coming back, as I did in 2017, 2018 with you, into the broker community was just like coming home. And I appreciate that. It gave me the space to truly do my work. I wasn't working for Finance of America. I was representing myself and helping serve others from, that space. And thank you for allowing us to do that and doing it our way, sure. With rules, but I appreciate that.
Some rules.
But I got to the business in 96 when I was a bill collector, and being a bill collector, I was there for 2.5 years, and I thought I was there for 5. It was the spirit of bill collecting is, not the funnest. But from that blessing, truly, that blessed job that I did, I was approached and recruited per se into the loan business to now help the bill collectors. I started from the beginning with the servant heart work, which is what I do. I'm here to help, not hurt. And I knew that as a bill collector, that didn't fill my cup, wasn't aligning with my spirit. So I jumped in full force and started building my business with bill collectors. So when I'm talking to loan officers and I'm trying to educate them on the shifts and diversifying, my story runs deep. My story is one of, a 24-year-old single mom, right? Which is another Brandy and I, right? We're mamas. Right. She's got 6, I've got 5, right? But really, I was looking for a way. I didn't have support from his dad, and I knew I was going to make my own way anyway. That I really dove into this job. And I was blessed with being able to go back to the bill collectors and teach them how to send their clients to me, that I could do a refinance to pay them the balance in full, right? The bill collector.
Right.
It was genius. I mean, you want to know what? I talked to some famous people, right? I helped some people that, I can't really say names, but, that changed my life. It changed my world, but I didn't stop with Sacramento. That wouldn't be me. And I had to go bigger, right? I didn't have to do anything, but I chose to go bigger. And I went to Washington, got a collection agency up there. Go Hawks. Oh, no, sorry. I went to Texas, Florida, Arizona, and I started teaching other bill collectors the same magic. I had places in LA of what I was doing with Sacramento. And I became, and that was back then where you didn't have to be licensed, right? In every state back in 97. Yeah, 96, 97. Well, I was just tearing it up. I was doing it. And then October of 98, by this time I'm at it, my second direct lender. Go to open the doors, they shut down. Pan American Bank.
Okay.
That's my first experience in this industry with the shift. So October 98, doors shut. I end up in the broker. So here I am now in the broker space. And in the broker space, I started learning the different options when it comes to brokers and shopping around alone. I didn't know anything like that. I was given a laptop, and I wasn't given a laptop. I was given a space to sit and said, go figure it out.
Yeah, there we go.
So I did, kind of. But I left there after 6 months because I definitely wasn't learning what I needed to do. And but at that time, I was starting to feel a little bit of a shift from my bill collectors. Check this out. As I continued to be successful, I started coming in, right, 25 years old with a briefcase. I'm driving an Eddie Bauer Explorer. All these bill collectors were like, what the hell is Amanda doing, right? Well, they started doing what I was doing. And I had a gentleman, he's still here in SAC, but he was paying my collectors. Illegal even back then.
Sure.
$1,000 to send him a deal. Now, hell, back in 98, I was lucky to make a couple $100 on a deal.
Amanda,
Right?
I told you I was sorry that I did that behind your back. Kidding. I didn't do it. I did not do that.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. But I just didn't know how he was doing that. And what happens? Money talks, right?
Sure.
I went from all these bill collectors in different states. I was flying down to LA, again, 25 years old, right? Doing parties and raffles to barely having any business. And I almost got out of the business in February of 98. Literally almost 2 years. No, 96. Yeah, 2 years into the business. I almost got out. And I went and had a heart-to-heart with my broker at the time. And I said, you've got this, right? Because I thought, maybe it's not for me.
Sure.
I'm a big believer that everything happens how it's supposed to. At that time, this is one thing that as I'm training loan officers and talking to realtors and helping them with their business and do a lot of coaching, I talk about diversifying. And in this space, to have all your eggs in a realtor basket, to have all your eggs in the collection agency basket, that is, you might as well, in my opinion, is not the smartest business move.
I agree.
But I almost got out. When I aligned with the broker shop, that was the first experience, right, that I had stepped into the broker arena. And I'll tell you, the broker side of things is like, I don't know, I was going to say Candyland, right? It's like you have so many options. You have so many things. It's your business.
Yeah, it's your business. I agree.
Right? Yes, I represent Expert Home Lending. And if you represent Expert Home Lending, you better be represent Expert. But it's Amanda Rawls that they're coming for. They're coming to.
That's right.
Right?
You know what? I think most brokers forget that part that you just said. They think my brokerage shop first, and the loan officers are lucky to work for my brokerage shop. And I'm like, no, unless you're handing them deals and they're out there on the line, working the hours, working the after hours, hitting all the things on your behalf, it's them first, you second. And I wish more people would figure that out. People are stupid if they don't figure that out quickly, how hard people work, and you deserve the lion's share of the money. I have licenses, sure, but should I be taking 50% of your money? Hell to the no. That is crazy. And people who think that way, direct lending world, sorry. But besides that, I don't get that methodology anymore, especially now. There's just too internet options. There's two, as the market shrink wraps with the higher rates and there's not much business, the best of the best are still out there. So your competition is slowly leaving the market, but they're not really your competition, but the people who are left, they are.
Yeah. Rich, that is another thing. There's no competition.
Ooh.
We all just do the same damn thing. And nobody does it like me. Nobody does it like you, right? I don't care who they are. If somebody says, I just talked to such and such and I know who they are, and I know damn well that Evangeline, let's just talk about who's still an answer, right? Somebody I know, love, and trust. And somebody says, I went to this gal and, she's whatever excuses they give. I know she's amazing. And I will highly recommend staying with where they're at. The love and the admiration. Not only that, we are all in this together. And there is no competition. Fuck, there's right next to Carl's Jr. is McDonald's. They both sell hamburgers. Okay, some days I go to McDonald's, some days I go to Carl's Jr., right? It's like, it's whatever I'm feeling at the time. And why I say that is because we get so caught up in what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, we do.
I'm guilty of it, right? We've had a shift, and I've had some pretty hard things happen. And in 2 days, I celebrate 2 years of losing my mom.
There we go. Sorry about that. I knew I wasn't going to bring that up, but I know it was coming.
Losing a parent and your last one and still having to keep going, right, in this business. But there's community.
Yeah, there is.
And there's support, from if you're with a good place, like Expert, we're all just here doing the best we can. We can do this.
Take a breath. It's real, is about as real as it gets. A lot of people don't realize that we're all human. Brandy talked about losing one of her realtors last year. I could tell you Amanda had a tough year, 2022. And like any of us, we all get our butts kicked in a lot of different things. I recently lost my brother. Life never stops. So you got to live it to the fullest. Amanda, I'll tell you this. I am unhireable as an employee. I have been self-employed for so long and making my own decisions and helping people on my terms. If I tried to go somewhere, they just say, you know what, we're just going to skip it. We're just not even going to hire you, Rich. You're not a good fit for the employee world. I'm just going to have to stay out here and I'll just have to find something else to sell. But for now, in my life, after 34 years, I am still doing loans. I'm still praising God every day I get to put someone in a house, because that is the reward. When I hear those people say, they always say it too. I wish I would have done this earlier because it feels so good. I wish I would have done it sooner. What was I afraid of? And that's that's what it's all about. It's what it's all about.
And their lives matter for us, right? We're serving hearts, and we're helping people with one of the biggest financial investments. And life is real. And I've had some pretty amazing clients and referral partners that have understood, Then 5 months later, I lose my father-in-law. It was 2022 was very tough.
Yeah,
and I had to go inside. Right. So if there is anybody that's currently in a shift, right? A lot of us in this economy and this industry are somewhat in a shift, and some people aren't. Don't get me wrong. But I think, our flow happens as our attention happens. And when we're just dealing internally, it's okay. Give yourself some grace. You needed the time. And then we regroup and serve others again, right? That's what we're here for. That's why I feel God put us on the planet. It's to help others, right? With love and grace. And
when I think about you, I think about going bowling, and I suck at bowling. And I'm great at getting into the gutters. I think a long time ago, somebody decided that Amanda was in the right lane, and they put the bumpers up on the backside of those bowling alley. And no matter how hard you get hit, if someone tries to take you down, I'll say life tries to take you down, you bump off those bumpers and you realign, and you just keep knocking down the pins every time I see you. And I've had to learn that from you. 2018 was not a good year for me, but I had the ability to be around incredibly strong people that are like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I always feel this, Amanda. I feel I'm only as strong as my weakest loan officer, because I know, just like you, I have single moms with kids. I know there's dads out there too, but I just have a heart for the moms. But it's because that's how I grew up, single mom, that are doing everything they can to get one deal a month just to try and keep things going in a tough market. California's a tough market, but it's tough in a lot of pockets. They just said they're not going to probably lower the rates more than one time by the end of the year. So that means we're going to have an extended period of what we're feeling in this moment. What would you tell people that wake up in the morning and they go, oh my God, the sky's falling, the rates aren't coming down? How does Amanda deal with that?
No, their rates do not dictate your business. There is still a need for money. People still need to purchase a home. They're making enormous amounts of money and they need a tax write-off. They're tired of being kicked out of places that they've lived. But not only that, consumer debt.
Oh,
we
yes.
discussed that. Holy schmoke-a-totally. And then we have people losing their jobs, hours getting cut, businesses folding. People need us.
Yeah,
they need all of us, and they need education. They need to know that their monthly outgo, and this is a true story. I talked to somebody, I'm doing a lot of seconds right now. A lot of HE loans, fixed seconds. Fixed seconds have really been a bigger blessing because the home equity lines being adjustable and everything else, right? I've had to break people down to, true story, had a client that was at 6.5. Well, that was the new loan. The current loan was at 3.75. We had a second of like 4.5 to 5. Absolutely great rates, 70, 80,000 worth of consumer debt and a car loan, and my age and wanted to retire in 5 years from the state. And we're looking at everything, had 18 years left on his home. I was able, and tons of equity. Thank you, California, right? So I have combined everything together and we looked at his monthly outgo. Yeah, we saved him $2,500 a month, Rich, just on that. And his rate got increased to 6.5. Now, I'm not saying that's everybody's story.
Right.
But the other thing that I did was we matched it to the years that were left on his loan.
Oh,
right?
nice.
So he didn't extend out.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
stop real fast and tell, if anybody's listening to this, I want them to understand what you just did. Explain what you did. You flexed that term to match the current term. You didn't reset him all the way over. Explain exactly what you did on that.
So we have the option with one of our main investor that if you have a 30-year term, I can pick I can pick 7 years, I can pick 18 years, I can hit 24 years, I can hit 28 years. I can actually choose a term and structure the loan to match how many years they currently have left on their first mortgage.
So they lost no ground, and still saved $2,500 and skipped a month without a payment, by the way.
Actually, it was 2, but I don't like to confess that, right?
Got to line up right to do it.
Right? And the other thing, the interest deduction. This man was at the latter part of his years. He was getting $600 a month on interest deduction, making $150. Well, he owed for the first time last April.
Okay.
Here we go with the mortgage interest tax deduction. Now they're front loaded. So now I had increased for the next 4 to 5 years while he's working. We're able to now have tax deductible interest at the max cap that, we can currently, deduct on our taxes. Financially, it not only helped him monthly, but it helped him annually as well. And people still need people like us that will sit down and explain short-term, long-term, instead of moving and whatever they want to do. There could be some answers in the equity and the current scenario you have. It's not going to be the 2% interest rate, but it may not increase, and in most cases doesn't increase your monthly outgo. There's people out there that need you. I would say call, but go get out. Right? Get out.
Have a conversation. People they always forget about their personal debt. They always forget about their total monthly outgo, everything they talk about on their house. And then I have people say, well, if you put it on my house, then I could lose my house. But if I keep it personal, I could bankrupt out. And it's like, yeah, why don't you think about that for another 60 months and understand that you could have saved 1,000. You could end up with 1 or 2 payments because you could reduce 20 payments down to maybe 1 or 2 by consolidating everything. And then you could, if you wanted to, put it on a 30 and take the $1,000 and accelerate your mortgage. I don't know. Would you come out better than if you just kept doing what you're doing? Look, I have a lot of people. You're firing me up now. I have a lot of people that tell me, oh, I've got 2.5%. Right. I've got 2.5%, 3.5% interest. I will never touch that in my lifetime. I'm like, you're buried in debt. You have 2 car payments. Your kids are about ready to drive and they're going to be going to college. And I know for a fact how much you make because I've done the last 3 loans for you. Are you out of your mind that you think you are better off with your total outgo holding on to that 2.5%? That's going nowhere as far as your principal payment. And meanwhile, you're getting slammed on. Let me tell you when it's too late. When you get down about 2 payments and you go, you know what? I'm ready now. And it's like, well, guess what? I'm not sure I can help you now. You have too much equity to file bankruptcy. You might get stuck in selling a house that you have all that equity in. Yes. Sorry to scare anybody. Reality talks. We're going to have some lawyers on here, some bankruptcy people, and we'll bring Amanda back. She deals with those people all the time. You need to know the rules because you might be renting for 2 or 3 years. And believe me, if you're paying attention to the rents, they're not getting cheaper. They know who's getting ready to come out and they're jacking up the rents, getting ready for you. So financial responsibility is something that's not taught barely enough at any high school or college level. You have to seek it yourself. I believe it's by design. Conspiracy theory. I think it's by design that it's easy to get a car. What do they say? Just tell me what you need and I'll get you in. I could go anywhere and they're going to put me in any car I want right now. They don't care what my debt ratio is.
Nope.
They'll bury you and hey, Amanda, let's get in your car. We'll put the top down. We'll go drive by all the apartment complexes. I love it because this is what I see. Mercedes, Beamers, high-end cars. I'm thinking that's $1,000. That's $1,000. That's $1,000. I'm thinking, holy Jesus, look at all those house payments sitting in that parking lot.
But I will tell you, a couple of those are some smart guys that unloaded a few and they're just waiting.
Yes, okay? There are some in there.
Let's just talk about that. Yes, I have a few of those clients. Okay, they unloaded a few and they're just chilling, waiting for the next whatever. Yeah, and who knows? But it's true. And I tell people, the other thing about what other loan officers could do right now, Rich, I've never been the real estate mama. I've never been the realtor mama. I've been the one that gets the business to give to the realtors. And I don't go where they dance all the time. I go to where others aren't dancing. And I am currently, as you know, on the board of the Sacramento Valley Bankruptcy Forum.
Yes, you are.
150 bankruptcy attorneys. I've been doing this since 2011 and specializing in less than perfect credit, right? Like the collection referrals, doing the subprime back in the day. There's places and there's events where they need loan officers. And sometimes they don't even know, right? A health fair. Who's going and setting up at a table at a health fair for a mortgage? Me. Because I'm going to help you get healthy with your finances, right? Nobody's doing stuff like that.
Or what's one of the major reasons behind people's health is their financial stresses, right? Divorce is financial stress. I think that's number one. So, I mean, that's a great idea.
Nurses. I mean, we were involved with Homes for Heroes. So I do a lot with our different community,
sure.
The teachers, especially during COVID. I really took care of our teachers as essential workers, right? Just like our nurses and doctors, man. But there's certain things, getting active in your kids' school, getting active in certain women's organizations. You can plot me, you can pick me up, take me any city. Fuck, I'm killing it. I'm owning it. They're going to know who I am. I will have business. That's not an issue. What I see right now And tell me if you see this. I see a gap of time frame from like '08 to 2015, 2016. Nobody was freaking getting in this business. There's like this gap of like us old fucks. Sorry, mouth is pure, heart is potty.
Wait, hold on 1 minute. Is this video for 18 and over? Okay, we're okay. The producer says yes. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, we're good.
Double check. Sorry. If you know me, you know me. But there's this old people, older, and now there's these young kids that are getting in it. That mid, fair to midland, right? That middle ground is disappeared in this industry. And if you are what?
Well, I was just going to say what changed during that time frame from 2008, 2015. The entry level got a lot different. We had a lot of people. You need to understand the mortgage brokerage world was blamed on the front side of that 2008 crash. And then we later found out it wasn't exactly the mortgage brokers. It was more how they were breaking up those loans and servicing and pretty much taking anything and putting it all in a big stack and pretty much 100% stated incomes. Right? What I was amazed at during that time, and I think it's still there, what the average age for a realtor and or loan officer, like what, 46, 47 is the average age.
Really?
So there's still a gap, but part of it, I think this is why, Amanda, like you're an independent contractor, you're not getting a guarantee. That is not an easy thing for someone coming out of high school or college or whatever to walk into a non-guarantee of something, especially some of these states are pretty expensive. I mean, you can't even get a $2,500 to $3,000 guarantee. There are places that will do that, but they're also in this economy. When it's tight, a lot of those places are going to go bare bones. They don't want to teach a lot of people and bring you up correctly. And so where are we getting? We're getting all the trigger lead companies, just burning and turning, and people are brought into industry and they have this thing like that. Maybe that's what the industry is. That is not the industry. The industry is about helping people, being there, making your realtors look good because they're on the front line, and getting people. I don't want to say getting people to trust you, because you're either trustworthy or you're not. People figure that out real quick. But either you have a heart to truly know what you're trying to do with these people, or they're just a number that you're trying to get paid a commission on. If that is your mentality, just to get paid a commission and burn and turn, good luck. I don't want you anywhere near my company. I want to change people's lives, not just today. And if you do it right, I've seen your loans. I've seen you do multiple loans over the years. They come back, and then now they have kids and they're coming through. I mean, you're an icon in your area. Obviously, you're very well known in your area. Kids going through schools, playing sports, things like that. You're on a lot of boards. You're a very involved person. I don't know any other way to do this business other than it's a people business. You got to get out into the people, right? And they need to know what you do for a living. It's not, you don't just sit there in your house waiting for the phone to ring.
God, no. I remember my first son, he's 31, going to be 31 next month. And I remember when he was in kindergarten, maybe first or second grade is when they did it, but it was a job day.
Okay.
Like, career day is what they called it. And whose parent wants to come and talk, right?
You came in with your briefcase and your Eddie Bauer Explorer?
Hell yeah. I had them. And I brought dollar bills, and I brought candy, and I brought cards for them to take home to their parents, right? Like, wherever I had the opportunity to talk about how I could help others, you best believe that's what I was doing, right? This business is not about a mortgage. It is about serving others, period. Period. That is the ability. That's the vehicle that I use. But I am helping, and I will tell you the C word, like you said, the COVID days. We were so busy, made the most amount of money I'd made ever in this business, and I've had the peaks and valleys, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I'll tell you, I got tired of being somebody's best rate. And not that I'm not the best rate out there, right? We're a broker. We smoke the direct lenders, no matter what they say. The broker, right? No matter what.
Edit.
That's real.
No,
Let's
it's
take
real.
real. On that note, when you come into the business truly with a servant heart, and this is no judgment, people can come in wanting to make money. You can have that as your main thing. Just know this is a servant heart. This is a service business. This is service. You can say servant heart if you want. You don't have to, but you're in the service business because you're doing everything pro bono and hoping to get a fucking paycheck. Let's just be real. That is what we do. But all of that was gone for me during COVID. It was all about what's in the pipeline, what do we got next, what do we got? And whether or not that
people got burnt
good,
out. I saw a lot of good people get burnt out in 2020, and then 21 came right behind it. And I thought, no, people were starting to take off. They're like, I need some time off. I am going to go crazy, but man, the money's good. And it's like, guess what's falling right behind it? And then feast or famine, right? It's always the same thing.
Right? I remember when I was 33, I made my first million in this business. Real talk. 33 years old. And then shortly after that, 2 years later, the market. But like, it's the ebbs, the ups and the downs, and riding it. And, everybody says, what are you going to do? And people are bouncing out of the business. Like, why would you bounce out of the business? It's coming back. And fuck, I don't know I'm 52. What am I going to do? I can teach you how to sell a loan. I can teach you how to work up a loan. Right? Man, this is what I love. And it's not necessarily the mortgage. It's serving people, right? And that's the vehicle. Of course, I love mortgages because I know them. But it's gets back to what makes you happy. If I'm talking to a loan officer and they're wondering what they should do to start getting business, I tell them to start looking at where they're currently at. I've got somebody right now I'm training who's at a dental office. She works there and she's just got her DRE and be getting her NMLS. It's like, you have clients there. You know how to sell. You're selling dental stuff all day long and making $7 on freaking, getting retainers and like you can make $7,000 on doing a refi. There's options there. So, getting back to where to go and how to get business. If people are needing a reset or just getting the business, look at your own sphere, right? Look within your own family and friends, the old Buffini way. I don't know. There's so much opportunity here, especially like there's that age gap. And then we have us dinosaurs that are like, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to work. Right. Like, it's just like riding the bike, but the excitement of going out, meeting new people and, teaching others to get business. That's the fun part. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it for me anyway. So.
I had somebody I spoke to yesterday, her and her husband's been in the business for a while, and she just recently got in. She used to be a news anchor in Colorado covering all sports. And she's like, I'm a sportaholic. But now I'm coming over here. And I told him, have her call me. I want to talk to her because her biggest hangup is, what if they asked me a specific loan question? I'm not ready. He's like, he's the person that would answer those questions. Her job is to go talk to realtors and get them on camera and use her skills to help bring their skills up from social media, things like that. But I was just, I said, I try and remind people not to be loan officers first. I market 100% of the time. I'm advertising myself 100% of the time. I'm available to answer questions 100% of the time. And every now and then, I get to also do a loan for somebody. People wake up morning and say, I'm a loan officer. I shouldn't have to do all those things. It's like, if people would just know I'm a loan officer, they'd just call me and they would give me business. And it's like, they also need to relate to you. It's a very personal thing to do a loan. Here, look at all my personal laundry, stranger who I don't know, and tell me whether or not I'm qualified to buy a house. And it's a very personal thing. And sometimes it's not easy. Matter of fact, I'd say more in the last 2 years, it's gotten harder. I mean, I've seen more experienced loan officers tested using their skill levels. If you think putting loans together is just taking an application saying, oh, it doesn't qualify, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Why isn't it qualifying? Is there something we can do here? Have we checked all this? Are any of these authorized users? Is maybe we take the spouse off and run it under one because he has the income anyways? How much?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. There you are. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I've seen the loan officers use skill sets that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
If you just put numbers into Fannie or Freddie and run a AUS and it says no, and you say, no, can't help you. It says it's too high. What? No, the question is, what exactly is the reason that it's not going? And is there a way around it? Because there are a lot of different rules. And what someone comes in the door, they say, I want to buy a house. Maybe they might say, I want to buy a house and I want a conventional loan. But sometimes they go out the door, do you want the house? Because I can do that under FHA because I can get a little higher debt ratio. Or, by the way, have you ever served before? You have. Why don't we talk about a VA loan and let me knock your socks off at 75% DTI? I'm amazed that they do that, but they do it.
Totally. I just had a 62.
Yes,
I get it.
I've seen them all the time.
Yep. I'll tell you, it is a lot more work right now.
Yeah, it is.
But it is more hard work. I'm telling you, it's a great time, and I have to even sometimes remind myself, right? As you know, that you're looking at the pipeline, and it's not 30, getting ready to close, and it's more servant work, and I am helping more, and I'm helping people who don't even realize they need the help that I can give them, right? Like that's this. Crazy
Amanda, are you, speaking of that, are you doing it all by yourself in this moment? Or do you have a team, Amanda?
So I currently have in my office just one assistant.
Okay.
Junior LO. Processor is out of the office. And I actually have a few underneath that kind of rely on me that I'm helping train up. And I actually have a couple more coming aboard that just passed their NMLS, by the way. I got to call you on that. But I currently just operate it's just my production though. Truly.
Okay.
It's just my database. To answer your question, long story long, but yeah. Just
the reason I say that is because some people say, oh, well, she's successful because she has this huge team. I mean, you used Evangeline. I've seen Evangeline run 5 to 6 people, but what people aren't understanding is do not be afraid to bring maybe one person on to do some of your back end stuff, because you only need one extra loan a month to cover that extra person, but it might free you up to the point where you might get 2 or 3 more loans. If you're are you a loan officer? Are you a loan officer, processor, LOA, and problem solver? Well, of course you're all of them, but your strength is a loan officer getting business. There are people that it is not their strength. They don't want to sell, but they're great in coming in behind you and saying, now let me do what I do best, which is call your customer and get all those documents. And you've done the hard work. Go get me 2 more. And I love it. I actually had a LOA say that to the loan officer one time. We were having a conversation on the phone and the LOA said, I want to stop this conversation. I will talk to Rich. You get back out there and get another loan. And I was like, wow, I need that person in my corner. Because I mean, she was serious. She's like, I want my job. I don't want any problems. You go do what you do. I'll work with Rich. And if there's a problem, I'll bring you back in on it. And I thought, ooh, I like it.
Love that. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, as an LOA, that's the best place to learn.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what we're working on right now. I'm like, you're going to learn so much. Before, she used to assist me directly with a processor, and notice that she didn't learn anything because processor takes and goes, especially really good ones. Like they don't have time. They're not going to teach, train. That's not their job.
Sure.
So they'll take it and run. And I'm realizing now, man, she gets it and she's getting it, and it's only helping her more being hands-on with the files. And yes, it does free me up to sell and serve others and get out to events and do those things. So LOA is a great entry.
I like it. You're great at that. You haven't said the part about, I know you did some speaking for EXP as well. they had you hit some events. Tell us a little bit about that.
I love, love, love sharing hope, faith, and possibilities with people.
Sure.
And filling up others and showing them it's possible. I do speak. I have started a speaking career, but the biggest thing is truly
it comes so easy to you, so you might as well use it.
I love connecting. I really do. And I love helping others see possibilities. I do. But yeah, so I've done a couple of different events and really honing in on the message of what we focus our attention on grows. So that's been a big thing right now, right? Like the manifesting and again, faith, but really focusing in on what it is you want to achieve. And yeah. And my coaching, I coach some agents right now as we speak and loan officers. And, we really talk about, mindset. I think that's really important because without belief in anything, right, you won't see evidence of it.
Sure.
Period. And with belief, you will, right? You always do. Validation is everywhere. Yeah, I definitely have doing that. And I definitely am open to train loan officers. I've been helping quite a few really look at something outside of what they're thinking. I think that's such an important aspect, right? We get so tunnel vision. It's like with underwriters, okay, but wait, she says this, but really honing in on staying outside of ourselves and helping people see the beauty within themselves that they can really do this job and how to structure a file. And
I know this. I want to point out to people because people outside California will see this video. I mean, you just said it that you're willing to train people and things like that. Look, I'm not out for a recruiting call. I'm trying to find within the broker community people that are willing to say it, but also do it. You need to understand with technology, just like we're doing right now, you don't need to be in Amanda's backyard to get help. You just need to get in Amanda's phone number and get to her.
Yeah.
That's what I love, because Amanda's not telling you that she has spoken to people outside the not outside the United States, outside California, and helps people outside California. There's no limitations anymore other than limitations you put on yourself. That is probably one of the truest statements in today's 2024 age. If you're putting limitations on yourself, that's you doing it. Social media is 350 million people wide across the United States. And you're telling me that you can't take the time and make a small video that might touch somebody sitting over in Maine who says, I want to work with that person. That's the person I need in my corner. I just went through this, and this, and I can relate to her. And they're going to pick up the phone and call. If you think all your business is within 5 to 10 miles of where you live, you're missing a huge, huge opportunity without crossing over into multiple states. That's one thing Amanda's done very well on. Look, she's trying to act like she's a badass, and she is. She's being very overly calm because she doesn't want everybody to think that she has a big head about herself. So I'll say it. I see Amanda do loans. I barely talk to Amanda. You need to understand that. Why do we barely talk? Because she handles her shit. As a broker, I'm amazed when Amanda calls, though, she's got a question. She needs her broker. There's a difference. I have people call me all the time just to say, hey, it's like, I want to talk to everybody, but when Amanda calls, I need to get off the phone because Amanda probably has a borrower or a real estate agent that has a question right now this second. And if she's getting stumped and she's calling on me, she's calling in the big guns, I got to stop what I'm doing and I need to be there for her. I love when I get a call from Brandy because I'm like, really, someone finally stumped you or someone finally pushed you to that point. I finally get to act like a broker. Bring it on. Tell me what you got. But I also love, I click like on every one of them. I see you taking the time, and I know you're busy, but you find time to give back to your community. I see you find time to get on social media, to make videos, uplifting videos. In a time right now, I'm telling you right now, there are people that They don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. We need more Amanda Rawls, but people are so afraid that I don't know what it is. I think if you just try, and you'll find that maybe people start to relate to you. And I'm not looking for people to get crazy on social media. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking uplifting, incredible experiences, letting people know you're not the only one with that problem. I've helped 5 of people just like you. If you can stump Amanda Rawls, matter of fact, there's your challenge today. If you see this video and you think you can stump Amanda Rawls with a credit question, put it in the comments and I'll get it to her or call her, because I would bet you that she's probably done everything 10 times fold and will probably have incredible answers within seconds. That's how sharp she is. She's being very humble right now. And I told her, you get 1 hour not to be humble. And what she do? She be humble. Well, she cusses a little bit, but humble and cusses.
I do. And, I'll tell you, I came into this business in 96. There was no women. I had no other women in my region. Okay. I have always made a point, because just like our sportscaster from Colorado, I'm excited. I remember when I was 13 years old. It was 1984, 85. I told my dad I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. Now, there was not a freaking one woman out there doing or even thought of it back then. And that was what I wanted to do. I've always, always, always loved the thought of being in front of the camera. So something like that for me is probably a little bit easier, but I didn't really start doing this until 2017. And when I came aboard at Answer, I hired a videographer, and I really just decided I'm going to do this. And I think it was our first video. He was like, "You've never done this before?" And I wasn't doing videos on social to the degree I am now. Right.
Right.
But it doesn't take much to copy even a motivational video you saw and repost it as a reel and put your own blurbs. I do a lot outside, and those are some of my best things. I record my backyard, and then I'll put some notes just about how, things are, what you think can, whatever it may be. I don't know, but it's something positive. Or I'll do loan situations, right? 3 things about credit. Just anything I can think of. And sometimes I use the same video over. It doesn't even have to be my face. If you are in this industry and you're not shooting video and you want to, this is your sign. Go fucking do it. Just do it.
I may lose my channel on YouTube before I even get it off the ground, but you know what? It'll be groundbreaking, and I will take the heat for it.
Just blurb it out. Just blur those parts out.
Look, I had somebody come work with me at my very first place, and they only knew me from church. And they came in and they heard me say a couple words one day, and they're like, "Whoa, what's going on? Like, I'm not sure I can work in this environment." And I'm like, you know what? We deal with real people. We deal with money. And when you put the two together and you have real estate agents that are not going to get paid, and it all comes back centered around me because I made a bad choice, a wrong choice on the lender. I made a mistake. You know what? You're going to hear me get a little upset. I'm not upset at them. I'm upset at myself if it's on me. I'm upset at the lender I chose. I followed the best rate on that day with some lender I've never heard of, rather than going to my trusted resource that I know I can close that loan on time, all to try and do something out of the ordinary. Hey, and I'm going to say that right now. If you got refinances, go wherever you want, take all the time in the world, because no one's going to lose a house. When you do purchases, I had a broker the other day say something like, our job is to get the best rate every single time. That's what a broker does. And I said, you're out of your mind. You obviously have not been doing this business long enough. Your job is to close that loan and get that borrower into the house and make sure your realtors on both sides are taken care of, make sure that seller is able to move on to their house. That's your job. And if you want to come back later, and when you have all that time and you want to go to Loan Sifter every day and find the lowest rate, that's when you do it. Until then,
because the lowest rate is not going to give
down.
you. Yes, Rich, you hit the nail on the head. But that's a season. Well, you don't have to be seasoned to know that, but that is something that you learn in the broker business. You're absolutely right.
You learn fast enough when you get your ribs kicked in a few times.
550 FICO score. I had purchase going on or refi. And I knew where I wasn't taking that file. and I knew where I could take that fund.
Sure.
Like, so you're absolutely right. But again, that's knowing your business and going back to, you know, how, when I got in this business and the fact that I was, you know, the 1%, right? Being female, I decided then I was going to do a lot of the things that I saw them not do. And part of it was care, and no disrespect to my men, right? I'm married to a man. I'm all about it. But where I was at, right, was, you know, all about the churn and burn. And they were going to get in, make their money. We're commission only. And I was going to dig in. I was going to get scrappy. I was going to serve. I was going to help people that were late on their mortgage, that were in a chapter 13. Because if you're in a 13, I can refinance you. If you're in a 13, I can still help you purchase. And hell, everybody can, but they got to know what the hell they're doing. Yeah. But those were the things that I decided that I was going to do to make a difference in people's lives. So.
Yeah, you've been doing that since I first met you. Because we have a closed website, but Amanda, over the years, I've seen her answer questions because people are like, oh, they have bankruptcy. Amanda's like, you know, you can still do that, right? And I'm thinking, I mean, there is a lost art of what we can and can't do. And when it comes to bankruptcies, and I think we're getting ready to see a few of those bankruptcies come to play, it's time to learn your bankruptcy laws and requirements when it comes to difference, a chapter 7 versus chapter 13. You should be able, I'm not telling you need to be a lawyer, and that's not what I'm saying. You need to understand from a lending standpoint, the differences of what you can and can't do. You should have an arsenal of lenders. Look, UWM doesn't want people in chapter 13. That's not their specialty, right? What happens when people are in chapter 13? Typically, they also have lower scores. There are certain lenders that by design, they're not afraid of those. FHA is not afraid of those. Understand that there's VA, there's overlays that certain lenders put on that are not the guidelines, right? Do you know what lenders have overlays, which ones don't? You should be educating yourself right now to know who does and doesn't, because you're going to have opportunities. Don't wait till you get the opportunity to then learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Put your time in right now. Be ready for it.
Yes. If you got downtime, then start learning stuff. I mean, the guidelines are changing quite a bit lately, right?
Yeah,
I've gotten bit here recently, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was still the case, or that was the case now. It's like, you know, bouncing back, and it happens. But these are the downtimes for you to definitely practice your craft, right? Yeah. Just like an athlete does. Absolutely.
All right, this is what I'm going to do with you. I had you for an incredible hour. I know you're busy, but I always want to ask the best of the best, because not everybody wants to, and I fully respect that. But being one of the best in the industry, nationwide in the industry, not just in Elk Grove, California, you have to understand what I'm saying. That Amanda's one of the best in the industry. If somebody has a question, if somebody wants to bend your ear, I worry about that. And if it's not good for you, I get it. But somebody might see this and say, you know what, I need 5 minutes of her time. I need that motivation. And guess what? They might work for another company. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is, you said something, top 1%, but also top 1% woman. I know that you have a heart to help more women in this industry, which is heavily men oriented. Let's say it for what it is. Not every woman out there wants to stop and go get mentored by another man, but they might love to hear your thoughts and bounce off and things like that. Is that something you're at all open to if I were to put your information in the description?
Absolutely. Stuff I do now. I've had people call me from social, asking me questions on certain scenarios. So absolutely. We are all in this together.
We really are.
Doesn't matter where you work, doesn't matter where you're from, especially East Coast. I've been talking to a lot of law officers on the East Coast with the VA. They think Veterans United is the place to go and that they can't do VA loans. Come on. So yes, it doesn't matter. It's anywhere, and I'd be honored to help and take phone calls. So.
You know, I have a lot of people, Amanda, and they get weirded out on me when they find out that I have friends who are brokers that own other companies. I have people that used to work with me, but they've gone on to do their own things. And they're like, well, why do you even talk to them? Like, they left you. And I'm like, it's not about me, right? It's about all of us. There's enough to go around. And these are good people. Not everybody wants to stay in the same place for the rest of their lives. And that's okay. I don't take it personal if people, I thank them for whatever time I get with them, that they trusted me enough for a while. But my job, if I'm not doing it right at 57 years old, if I'm not helping you get to where you're trying to go, then what am I doing? What do you want to do with your life? It's not about helping me get more of whatever I want. I love helping people. And the more people I help, the more blessed my life is. That is the success formula that people cannot seem to figure out. Sorry. That's my success formula. And it works really well.
Amen. Same. We help enough people. We are just it just reciprocates, right? We're a mirror. Our whole life is a reflection of who we are and what we do. You see, karma is a real thing. I mean,
well, karma's incredible when I get to see you with your family, and your family keeps growing, but I love watching you love your family. You love them in the way like a mom would, but you also love them in how hard you work. You are not going to let your family fail because you will not fail. And that is contagious. And I use that. I look at it and I'm like, thank you, Amanda. I needed that. I look at every single one of those and I thank God every day. I'm like, thank you that Amanda's in my life, because she doesn't even know I'm on the East Coast. She's on the West Coast. But if I didn't see that video, I would have finished my day the way I needed to. You know, we all have ups and downs. We all do. Amanda Rawls, you are one of the best for 2023. I already know what's going to happen 2024, 2025. You're one of the best of the past. Too bad. It's just who you are. You're one of the best, and you deserved to be recognized on a one-on-one. I can't wait to do more with you. I have a feeling that you and I are going to be interviewing other people, because people are going to want more of you. Should you agree to that, I am going to have you on these, because it's not about Rich Hanlon. I honestly think that I have some people in our organization that would be better suited for these conversations, to be honest with you. I am a big believer that women in this industry need to take their proper place in the forefront of what they do. There's some fantastic loan officers, but I have been blessed with some. You said Evangeline. We talked about Brandy, Amanda Stevenson. I mean, there are some incredible women originators out there. Michelle Malota. I mean, absolutely incredible. And there's more. Catherine Barnett, she's not even in California. She's on a cruise right now. She'll come back and hear me. I said her name. But I am amazed at the quality of leadership that's out there in Julie Yarborough. I mean, all day long. They want and they can do it. There's great men in the industry. There's great loan originators. But here's the one thing I tell all of you. Make sure you're bringing the next generation up, because there's a gap in there. And if you don't, no one's going to. Do not let your talents stop with you. Find somebody, instill in them, bring them up. They're hungry. Someone said the other day to me, I was talking to a kid, he's 29 years old. And I said, what's one thing you would say to me? I mean, you listen to me talk all the time. What would you tell me? He said, you know what, Rich? Get ready for it. Rich, I want to feel like I'm heard. And I said, so you're saying I'm talking too much? He goes, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I do have thoughts on what I see out there in the world from a 29, 30-year-old concept. And I hear all you guys, older guys, talk and things like that. But at the same point, I'm at a point in my life, I want to know that my opinion still matters with the way things are going, where they're going to go. And I thought, wow, in other words, we need that gap. We need to bridge that gap and say, you know what? I want to hear what you have to say. What's holding you back from the industry? And how can I help you? And sincerely reach back and drag that person with you. I don't care if they shadow you for a year. We need 25 shadow Amandas running around in this business, and they will be better for it.
Amanda, you're so incredible. I'm always pumped up after I speak to you. I still think I have better barbecue than your husband, but we'll fight about that another. Dang it! I tried to sneak it in. No, he's. I hope he has a. I hope Tree has a great time. He's. I love the two of you together. You're perfect, right? You figured it out. Good for you guys. We're all just taking one day at a time. It gets tough out there, but I'll tell you what. I will come to your house for that barbecue one day when I'm there in town, and I'll check and see if it's of the quality of Georgia barbecue. But for now, I'll let him have it. Yeah, I knew it. I'm losing this battle all the way around. I appreciate that. I'm actually going tonight for the first time to babysit for 1 hour my little granddaughter, and I'm a little scared. I haven't changed a diaper in a while, but you know what? There's nowhere in the world I'd rather be than 1 hour with that little girl. She breaks my heart, and you always talk about. I know you are very heavy-handed, and now I'm in that club, and yeah, I got a little grayer right when she came out 3 months ago, but it's all good. Amanda, what I love with you and my commitment to you, I will give you my best of the best for however long I can stay in this industry. Thank you for giving me your best of the best because you lift me up in ways that you don't really know. After 34 years, it's hard to get motivated sometimes. You've seen too much, you've heard too much, you know there's people hurting, but there's also hope. And there's always tomorrow. I know the rates will come down. I know we're going to have another market run. Just hang in there, people. If you need some motivation, Amanda Rawls will get you in gear real quick. I'll tell you right now. All right, Amanda, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope Tree has a great weekend. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you're busy, but you are incredible. You are one of the best of the best. And I've said it 6 times because you are. You're just one of the best. And you gave recognition to other people in our industry like Evangeline, who are also some of the best of the best. I love that because it's not about animosity. It's about all of us lifting each other up. And I hope she gets to see that interview and sees that you still give her that kind of credit because she's an amazing loan officer as well. I love watching that. There's enough for all of us all the time. All right, people, there you have it. That's how a best of the best is. She didn't bring anybody down, but she brought a lot of us up, including me. Amanda, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. All right. You have a good Friday, and thanks for your time today.